Kenyatta Asewe. Now, human rights groups are calling on the Independent Policing Oversight Authority to investigate cases of police brutality during the anti-finance bill protests and give a clear report on the number of deaths reported. This comes even as 5 families today received the autopsy results of their loved ones who died during the protests. And as Milia Kisenya now reports, the autopsy results showed that they died from bullet wounds, head and neck fractures.
As families and relatives thronged into different mortuaries in search of their loved ones who died during the anti-finance bill protest, the pain is unbearable for those that found out about horrific details of how they died. The latest drawn today from at least 4 families who came here at the city mortuary. Mother to Kenneth Maina can barely express herself. The pain in her voice is enough evidence of what the report depicts of how her son died. Fractures on the head and back led to her son's death.
Serikali iingilie, isaidie tu, itusaidie tu, haki hatuna pesa. Tumetumwa huko nini supermarket tukanunue container za kupima huko kwa Ramboro, tayari tumekosa hiyo 100 peke yake. Jua hatuna hata pesa, tuna hata wazazi. Niko na uchungu mingi sana juu mtoto wetu.
A situation not so different from this other 2 families.
Matokeo inaonyesha wanasema ilikuwa ni sharp object, kitu iliingia hapa na ikapita hivi. Ikakuza nini moyo, na sasa ilikuwa excessive bleeding. Tumeshindwa sasa tutaanzia wapi kusafirisha mwili nini yote, hatujapata ripoti yote kutoka kwa serikali. Hiyo ni kama tumeachiwa sisi wenyewe, ambayo ni msiko mgumu sana.
Mimi nataka tu niende nizike mtoto wangu, lakini ile problem niko nayo ni moja. Sina namna ya kwenda kumzika juu sina pesa.
In Kajiado and Mombasa County, several other families have also been left hopeless.
Mtoto wangu ako 12 years old. Asienda maandamano. Hata kama ni nusu ya risasi, hata kama ni harufu ya risasi, mtoto wangu hana hatia. Risasi ni kuwa mwizi, sio mtoto.
Meanwhile, IPO has been challenged to come out and clear the uncertainty behind the exact figure of those who lost their lives during the anti-finance bill protest. So far, human rights bodies have documented 23 deaths, 34 disappearances and 271 injuries during the anti-finance bill protest.
Bado tunaendelea, as you clearly can see, people, they usually post people who have disappeared, but then watu wakirudi, they don't really update. So we take some of the recordings. Up to now, I think we had around 34 in total. But when you post someone is missing, you try to follow up. Sometimes unaambiwa amepatikana. So we are still working on the list. It is not final.
Sasa ni jukumu la IPOA kufanya documentation, kufanya investigation na kuhakikisha kwamba hawa watu wamekuwa prosecuted. Because ni nani ambao watafanya polisi wajibike kama si IPOA?
Milia Kisenya, K24 TV.
Former Nandi Hills Member of Parliament Alfred Keter has refuted claims that his dramatic arrest yesterday was as a result of his failure to honor summons by the police. Keter further narrated how the question of his relationship with Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua and former head of state Uhuru Kenyatta emerged during police questioning. Keter has since been released unconditionally, with the opposition castigating the government over the alleged return of the hit squad.
If the police summon Linus Kaikai and Linus Kaikai refuses to go to the police, are the police not entitled to come and look for you? When the police come to arrest you after they have summoned you and you didn't show up, is that an abduction?
This is the response the head of state gave yesterday after being put to task to explain on the abduction of former Nandi Hills Member of Parliament Alfred Keter. However, in a turn of events, the former Member of Parliament has brushed off President William Ruto's sentiments, saying he was never summoned over any matter that warranted his abduction.
I was not arrested, I was abducted. There were no summons. I was never summoned. The first time I got to understand that I had issues to which they wanted to level against me, or they're raising allegations, is when I got here. I didn't know. They were on a private car with a private number plate, wearing on civilian, with masks. So you could not discriminate, or you cannot differentiate between the criminals and the DCI officers.
Narrating his abduction deal after presenting himself to the Directorate of Criminal Investigations, Keter has claimed that the state is accusing him of association with an armed deal, of further questioning his relationship with the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua.
And they were beating me up, trying to say that you've been against government. And then the questions that I was asked, one of it is my relationship with the former president, Uhuru Kenyatta, and my relationship with the current deputy president. And then issues to do with arms from Congo. I think it is a movie. Don't intimidate us into silence. We know the issue is about, we are raising issues concerning the concern by the many Kenyans.
The opposition has to this end also accused the government of initiating hit squads that are said to be carrying abductions that have since been on the rise after the anti-tax demos.
We are aware that there are still a number of Kenyans, very many Kenyans who are still missing. When we have asked the DCI officers here, they have told us that it is not them who took these people. So despite the promises that were made by Ruto during the campaign, he is still maintaining police hit squads, people who are not even known to the police. And they are the ones conducting these abductions. At least for Alfred Keter, there were people there to film it. And that is why he is still safe here.
Even after this stance,
I made 3 commitments that I will make sure the police is independent. And I did that on my first day in office. Number 2, I said there will be no extrajudicial killing in Kenya. I have kept my promise. Number 3, I have told you that if there is any arrest by the police, that does not amount to an abduction.
The abductions seem to continue, with the latest victim being Paul Wambui alias Gigi, who, according to LSK President Faith Othiembo through his social media page X, says he was kidnapped at 5 a.m. today in Githurai, but was later found with head injuries dumped in Resembo. Bentura Kwamboka, K24 TV.
As Gen Z youths prepare to lead another round of protests on Tuesday, all eyes will be on the President, William Ruto, and the police over how they will conduct themselves towards peaceful protesters. During the Sunday media interview, President William Ruto affirmed that the military will only be availed if the protests turn violent. The DCI, on the other hand, is sounding a warning to those taking advantage of the protests to loot, even as it availed CCTV footages of those who carried out massive looting within the CBD last Thursday. As Martin Opio now reports, President Ruto has since agreed to host a digital X-space conversation with the youths this Thursday.
Immediately after the roundtable meeting with the media on Sunday night, President Ruto hosted another group of youngsters, the digital content creators.
My very good sons and daughters,
The president agreed to have a conversation with the youths over the X Spaces on Thursday, even as he beseeched the Gen Z to keep calm and have the interests of the country at heart.
We've agreed with some of your colleagues here that maybe Thursday, Friday, I will be thoroughly clear, and I want you to be equally clear on what you think, the suggestions you have on how to take our country forward. My request to you is that we have a country to keep. It's the only home we have. We must do whatever it is that we do within the parameters of the law, respecting one another and talking to each other with respect so that we can move forward together as a country. I am looking forward to this engagement in the space that you will recommend. I'm told X is the space that you want us to engage. And I have committed that I will find myself into that space. I will ask one of you guys in that space to host us so that we can have this conversation. as I do what I must do to get the country moving forward.
But nonetheless, the Gen Zs are not relenting and are set to go back to the streets on Tuesday and Thursday in another round of anti-government protests. Their protests will be coinciding with the historic Sabasaba weekend. On Tuesday, the Gen Z who are expected to take to the streets have a different strategy where they will print out banners and t-shirts with the names of the fallen colleagues through the bullet. President Ruto has promised that the police will restrain themselves, including keeping the military away from the protests, except when they turn violent. All eyes will be on the head of state following the Sunday night interview.
Be even. You know, we must be even. The police have a difficult job. They have to make sure the peaceful demonstrators are protected. But they also must make sure that the criminals, and when you say criminals, you know, when I said the other day criminals, many people took offense that I was calling the demonstrators criminals. That's not...
We cannot call ourselves a democracy when in all the 47 counties, the military will be deployed tomorrow, even perhaps already deployed, and we call ourselves a democracy.
The DCI says it is on high alert ahead of the protest, with the investigative agency warning those taking advantage of the demos to loot businesses that their time is nigh. On Monday, the DCI released CCTV videos which they claimed were taken during the protest by persons taking advantage of the protest. In the videos, the group of youths are seen breaking into shops before enjoying themselves with looted goods. The DCI wants the public to flush them out as they go on with their protest. In Eldoret, at least 15 suspects were paraded at the High Court, with Kapsaret Member of Parliament Oscar Sudi listed as a complainant in the case where businesses linked to the legislator were looted, in addition to the charges over mayhem witnessed in Eldoret.
Ripoti hii ikuweza kupewa siku 21 iweze kukaa na hawa washukiwa ni kukamilisha uchunguzi wangu ambao bado sijakamilisha.
Your Honor, I implore you to reject and to dismiss this application for the reason that these young and women before this honorable court were arrested because of picketing and not because of any other reason.
Martin Opio, K24 TV, Nairobi.
Kenyans will from today start paying 2.75% of their gross salary to the Social Health Insurance Fund under the new Social Health Authority. And with the new regulations in place, every Kenyan will be required to be a member of the Social Health Insurance Fund to benefit with treatment. Robio Mondi with the details.
Starting today, every Kenyan contributing to the Social Health Insurance Fund will have access to affordable healthcare services. This is according to Health Cabinet Secretary Susan Nakumicha, who says that the new health scheme will repeal NHIF and begin offering services to Kenyans.
Therefore, the existing NHIF contributions and benefits will continue until we roll over to Social Health Authority.
Kenyans will be required to dial a USSD *147# or log in to www.sha.go.ke or by visiting the designated National Health Insurance Fund offices and other registration points for self-registration.
We posted the tariffs for public participation. The report has been received, and in the course of next week, we shall be doing a national validation exercise, after which we shall be able to gazette the tariffs that will be used.
The ministry has assured that the registration process will be free and community health promoters will also be available to assist.
I want to give assurance to all Kenyans, and in particular, those who have been enjoying healthcare services under the National Health Insurance Fund, that they will not be denied any services during this rollout phase.
However, Kenyans say they still have little or no idea about the cover.
Mambo ya kukatwa na registration pia tunafaa tujue ile ya kwanza registration ilikuwa ni ngapi, hii ya pili registration ni ngapi. Na pia percentage ya kukatwa ile ya kwanza ilikuwa ni ngapi na hii ya pili pia ni ngapi.
Hatuwezi kuingia kwa kitu ambao hatujui sisi, labda umeingia na kumbe kitu ambao itakuletea madhara.
To this end, they are calling upon the Ministry of Health to conduct awareness campaigns to ensure Kenyans are informed on what they are signing up to.
Uongozwa na waziri wetu wa health na kumicha atusikize, isije tukawa tumreject pia. Tufanyie civic education, tujue ni nini, ina umuhimu gani, ina maana gani, inaifanya nini kwetu sisi wananchi.
Robbie Omondi, K24.
Have you watched K24? We would love to hear from you. Send us your feedback on what you like and what you don't like and why. You can use any platform to reach us. We can be reached on Facebook, SMS, Twitter and WhatsApp.